Let's be honest, you don't wake up in the morning excited to talk about savings accounts. Savings accounts are so boring. The one thing savings accounts have going for them is that they're technically better than putting money under your mattress. Now there's a slogan that inspires excitement. Savings accounts, technically better than your mattress. But all jokes aside, savings accounts are one area where we've actually benefited from the Fed raising rates. I mean, sure, everywhere else we're paying more, mortgage rates, credit card interest, the grocery store, but at least our savings account rates are going up. Well, unless your savings account's at a big bank, then it still sucks. But if you're putting your emergency fund, which we should all have, into one of these 4 accounts we're going to talk about today, then you're getting a pretty good return on money that's FDI insured and just kind of sitting in the bank. That's not horrible. Now, just as a note, I'm not sponsored by any of these accounts. I actually use one of them myself, but I have no affiliation with any of them. It's just my personal thoughts that I'm sharing. So let's go. Number 1, the American Express High Yield Savings Account currently has a rate of 3.30%. It's FDIC insured, there's no monthly fees, and there's no minimum balance requirement. Access to the account is limited to online or phone only. There's no ATM access. The features to be able to move money include electronic transfer in and out of the account, both one-time and recurring, as well as check deposits, both mobile and mail. The current withdrawal limit is at their discretion. So it used to be that you could only make up to 6 withdrawals from your Amex savings account before you get assessed a fee, and that was due to Regulation D. But during COVID, the government changed Regulation D and lifted that restriction. And I'd read somewhere that Amex now allows up to 9 withdrawals, but I actually looked at my deposit agreement and doesn't actually specify a number. It just says they can limit you based on their own discretion. So I would imagine you're probably fine unless you're using the account for a lot of debits each month for whatever reason, and ultimately for a place you're going to put your emergency savings, it's probably best to not use it like a checking account, but it is good to know that a limit may exist.
The limit does not exist.
So I actually have this account. This is what I'm using for my emergency fund, and I like it because I have a bunch of other Amex accounts. So this account shows up in the same app with those. I get the same customer service that I really like from American Express. And even though the features it has are pretty basic, it's enough for what I need out of an emergency savings fund. Has the ability to move money in and out of it, has the ability to deposit a check every once in a blue moon when I get it, and that's perfect for my needs. And one thing Amex has been really great at is increasing my rate as the Fed has increased rates. I've gotten 14 different emails saying that my savings rate's going up since June of last year. I've gotten exactly 0 rate emails from my big bank savings accounts. That's what I'm talking about, Amex. Number 2, Ally Bank Online Savings Account. Has a rate of 3.40%. It's FDIC insured, it has no monthly fee, and no minimum balance requirement. Access to the account is online or phone only. There's no ATM access. The features for moving money include electronic transfer in and out of the account, both one-time and recurring, and the ability to deposit checks, both mobile and mail. In terms of withdrawal limit, Ally is still showing that they allow 6 withdrawals a month before a fee is assessed. It's a $10 fee that they say they currently are refunding for those who are impacted by COVID-19. Now, I'm not sure exactly what that means or how they're determining that though. So Ally's been offering online savings accounts for a while now, and they actually have one of the best feature sets out of all the accounts we're going to talk about today. So they have tools like buckets, which allow you to categorize your savings and create goals, as well as tools like Surprise Savings, which analyzes linked checking accounts for more opportunities to save. So when you combine that with their 3.40 rate and their no balance minimums, it's a pretty awesome package for people who want to be able to use tools to help them save more money. Number 3, the Marcus by Goldman Sachs High Yield Online Savings Account. Has a current rate of 3.30%. It's FDIC insured, with no monthly fees and no minimum balance requirement. Access to the account is limited to online or phone only. There's no ATM access. The features for moving money include electronic transfer in and out of the account, both one-time and recurring, which includes same-day transfers. And while there's no mobile check deposit, there is the ability to mail in a check deposit if you want. In terms of withdrawal limit, there is none, and they advertise unlimited withdrawals. So Marcus by Goldman Sachs has some pretty cool features, especially for people who want access to their savings a little more regularly than other people do. Obviously, unlimited withdrawals is nice, but also the ability to have a same-day transfer if you need it is really cool. And how they're probably doing that is using the ACH network and doing a same-day ACH where they pay a slightly higher per transaction fee, but it gets there by end of day, which is really cool if you need access to that money and you need it to hit your other bank that day. If you wonder how I know that, I spent 15 years in payments and banking, and I'm a payments nerd. Sorry. So if you're in the habit of using the money in your savings account a little bit more regularly, but you still want to get a nice interest rate on money that you have parked there, then those features really help. Number 4, Wealthfront Cash Account. Has a current rate of 4.05%. It's FDIC insured through multiple partner banks, has no monthly fee and no minimum balance requirement. Accessing the account is both online, phone, through ATMs, and with a debit card. The features for moving money include electronic transfer in and out of the account, both one-time and recurring, mobile check deposit, bill pay, and the actual debit card itself. In terms of withdrawal limits, there are unlimited withdrawals. So the Wealthfront account is not technically a savings account. It's a cash account that works kind of more like a checking, where you get a debit card and you get access to it through ATMs and all that type of stuff. But I included it in the list because it does have a very high savings rate, and you could technically use it like a savings if you wanted to. You could just ignore the debit card completely, just have it as an account that you move money in and out of, and get that 4.05% rate. So the one thing that I thought was weird about the Wealthfront account is because they're not technically a bank, they have this relationship with their 8 partner banks. And that's why they advertise up to $2 million in FDIC insurance, because the money can be split between as many as 8 partner banks at $250,000 per bank. And this may not be an issue at all. I just don't understand enough about what the risks or complexities are with that type of partner bank relationship. That just may be something that if you're interested in this account, you might want to dig into a little bit more to understand if it's a concern for you or not. But if you are looking to maximize your return and your interest, the 4.05% is the highest one in this list. So I know there's a bunch of other savings accounts out there, and you might be wondering why I didn't include one or another, but here's a couple thoughts on a few that I didn't include that you might be wondering about. SoFi. So SoFi's account has up to a 3.75% rate, which is awesome, but it's based on having direct deposit. So it's not really just a standalone savings account. The rate is 1.20% otherwise, which doesn't really compare to the rest on this list. Robinhood. So Robinhood has a gold feature that gives you a 4.15% on all the cash in your account. It's similar to the Wealthfront account in that it's a cash account and not a pure savings account. But Robinhood Gold costs $5 a month as a subscription, so I didn't include it. M1 Finance. M1 Finance is advertising a new savings account that'll have a 4.5% rate, but it's not out yet, and there are little details available as of right now, so I wasn't ready to include it. Okay, so which one should you pick? Which one do I recommend? I do think that it depends, and they all have their strengths, but here's how I would break it down. The American Express High Yield Savings Account, I think, is for people who have other Amex accounts and really like and prefer Amex customer service. Ally Bank, I think, is perfect for people who will actually use those added features like buckets and surprise savings, because they can get extra tools that aren't available anywhere else. The Marcus by Goldman Sachs Online Savings, I think, is perfect for people who need access to their savings a little bit more frequently than others and are really going to take advantage of unlimited withdrawals and same-day transfers. And lastly, the Wealthfront Cash Account, I think, is good for people who really just want to maximize that return. And they're okay with having these other features and aren't bothered by that, and they're not worried about any multiple partner bank setup issue. Regardless of which one you pick, putting money away for emergencies is important for all of us to do, because it'll make sure that you and your family are taken care of whenever something unexpected happens, which it always does. And if you guys are looking for ways to save or invest more money each month, check out this video right here where I talk about 5 different ways that you can earn more money this year. Hope you guys have a great day out there. Thanks for sticking around to the end. Keep stacking those wins for your family, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.